think right now at this moment our team is like strong on every lane. If double leaf is as good at Leak as in trash talking, it's gonna be hard for me.
Welcome back to the Battle of the Atlantic, live from Los Angeles, California. We're just minutes away from Game 2 between Alternate and CLG. But right now, I want to get your take on Game 1, because what an incredible game that was. And, you know, we got to start off at that level 1. And CLG might not be playing with tricks anymore, but it was Alternate that brought the tricks on that level 1. How much do you guys think that that influenced just the way the game went in that early game?
Right off the get-go, you saw Alternate doing all they can to get the lead, and you saw it with the TP bottom lane with Mundo and Leona. The thing is, they had to blow Flash on Leona for that gank, which made it really obvious that Dexter was going to come down for the gank and even out the game. But as you saw, Dexter eventually progressed to go top lane to try to gank for Nian, because Elise and Olaf are two champions that can deal with heavy, beefy front lines since they have percentage damage and true damage. But Kevin played excellently throughout the laning phase. He played it safe. He knew he was going to be a target. He was going to get picked on because you pick Olaf to kill the tanks. And he didn't die a single time. He read all of Dexter's ganks and was able to stay safe while RNA ganked middle and bottom and snowballed the game for his team.
Yeah, I actually want to give a lot of props to RNA in this match because we talked about early game how Shyvana's not the best early game ganker. You don't get to do a whole lot before level 6. And so instead, every time that Ara saw Dexter go gank someone, he went and counter jungled. He would steal away a whole bunch of the buffs. And again, you saw on the red buff steal, he hit level 6. Once he hit 6, he started comboing with J-Re. He started coming in there and diving in off the Leona ultimates. He got a couple of kills bottom lane. He got then a kill mid lane as well off of Kerp's Gragas and snowballed that way and sort of played the game really well and built this huge early mid game lead just using his ultimate.
Yeah.
How much do we think that the influence of that junglers and that early game influenced the bottom lane? Because it seemed to me like there was a huge difference there in the Creaton J-Re matchup versus Double Lift Afromu.
Exactly. It was J-Re's engages. It was the Leona coming in there. And I know Jet talked about it, the Flays usually knocking back the Zenith Blade engagements. But then anytime he would miss it, Leona got on top of him, popped the ulti, and you just blow up when that happens. You're a fairly squishy lane, Jinx, Thresh. There's not always a lot of stats there. And when a Shyvana comes in as a dragon, it's going to tend to pick up kills that way.
Do you think, Crumbs, that you were mentioning the way that Kevin can read Dexter, is that something that you can mediate from one game to game 2, or will he just keep on doing that in the series?
I think he is able to, he may be able to keep doing that in the next games, but seeing the team comps and how the laning phase should have been played, the team comp that CLG had, when you let somebody get Mundo, you obviously want to have a plan against it. So by picking Olaf and Elise, I think he's able to know that he's going to be a priority target throughout the laning phase. So that's why he played it. Maybe he just doesn't really know Dexter that well, but just knowing that he's going to be a priority target for ganks, he's able to hang back. But the times that he read the ganks were beautiful. You saw the ward in the mid lane, brush in top lane, and then when Dexter was trying to come in for a gank through the lane, he backed out right away, and then he was just left empty-handed while RNA kept counter-jungling him and ganking bottom lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much... It's like typical CLG fashion, right? They are very much, they were behind in the early game, and then they came back, and it seemed like their comp really came together. Do we feel like Alternate made some heavy mistakes in that mid to late game?
There were a couple that were a little bit suspect. I think anytime they ended up actually getting caught out, thing is CLG doesn't have any real engage tools. They have to try to land a Cocoon or land a Thresh Hook, or like hope that they can use the Ascension active and catch up to people. So anytime someone got picked on by Alternate, that's them being out of position. We saw that a couple times with Kerp getting caught out. We saw that any time that CLG actually got some ground was, I think, kind of a mistake getting caught out there by Alternate, and that eventually snowballed into CLG actually getting a Baron off of that, off of a really, really silly sort of overextended engage. CLG picks up some kills, picks up Baron, and then Alternate does more silly things, and they teleport in to try to take the Baron back after it goes down in a 3v5, and they die some more. And
yeah, thrown out.
There were a little bit of silly moves there by Alternate. I think the rest of the sieges went pretty much optimally. They slowly poked the turrets down, used their gigantic health regen pools to just whittle down on structures and finally get some way in.
Yeah, and then at the end, they, of course, got the positional advantage over CLG. Well, they could just rush into the base. And in the early game and in the mid game, we saw a lot how strong Lucian was, but Crumbs were actually you that noted that Kerp was doing extremely well in that matchup.
Yeah, looking at the end game screen, Kerp actually did 3 times the damage dealt to champions that Lucian did. And his barrels were what made it possible for Alternate to actually push down turrets, because they only have 1 range and 4 melee champions, which are not going to be the best in terms of pushing towers. So what they need to push turrets is going to be poke down CLG or spread them out so they can get some chipping into the tower. And his ultimates and barrels were hitting Dexter and Neon all around. And you saw in some of his pushes, just ult to the wave. Don't even go for an engage, just ulti them away, do damage. That's going to be able to put CLG's health bars low enough that they can just face tank the turrets, get the turret, get the inhibitor, and then eventually get objectives. But he was just so farmed and so fed that you saw late game, he 2-shot both Elise and Italy and was able to win the game. But even if that didn't happen, all he needed to do was throw an ultimate out, and they would have been able to push down the turret.
So we saw good play from both teams, but also a lot of mistakes, if I can say that fairly. And in a first game that they've played in a long time, that is to be expected, of course. What do we think will happen here in the next game? Will Europe close it out, or CLG coming back?
I gotta say, I'm surprised Alternate came a lot stronger than I expected. I really thought that the addition of Dexter would bring a whole lot to CLG and they'd have just a ton of pressure. But as Crumbs pointed out, Kevin was reading all of Dexter's ganks, and that gank style from Dexter hasn't done very much. I think Alternate's play calling, largely has been better. I think they've done some really smart things, especially that ending base trade where they said, we have positioning, we can dive up mid, just use Gragas for disengage, we can just hit buildings and win the game. Plays like that are really, really smart. And things like that, I think, makes me feel a lot better about Alternate here.
I also think that you got to look at the dynamic of how this series is going to go. It's going to be different from any other game because 3 games is going to be played for Alternate on blue, CLG on purple. So picks and bans are going to have a completely new dimension, because oftentimes you see people try to change their picks and bans and see, okay, now we want to get these champions since we're first pick. But now that they're purple the entire time, we may be able to just see the exact same combos. Maybe CLG feels confident. You know what? We just misplayed it. We're not going to fall for the same things again. We're going to play the same thing out. You can play your game again. And we just think we're going to play better this next game. And we could even see the same combos 3 games in a row.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how everything plays out. But now we're going to check out our favorite answer to the first Twitter question of the day. Of course, earlier we asked, which Battle of the Atlantic lane matchup are you most excited to see and why? And here's what you had to say. The first answer is from @lolcanoe. He says, I'm eager to watch Dexter face off against Aranea. They both are very strong junglers with the capacity to make game-changing decisions, and we saw that perfectly in Game 1.
Absolutely. We know both of these junglers are good enough that they can get ganks basically anywhere they go. We saw Dexter ganking bottom lane multiple times. We saw Aranea gank mid, gank bottom, and is able to turn kills. Dexter made some plays and able to get the first dragon for CLG, actually. And outside of the laning phase is really where the game was determined. And that's just where champion picks comes along. But even Dexter, even though he fell behind, he was able to pull off plays with cocoons. We saw in the top tower, one of the things that snowballed CLG's Baron was a cocoon on Gragas. And he's still able to maintain himself relevant into the game. And these 2 players are basically the ones that are able to determine the early game for each of their teams. And that's what we're going to see in the next couple of games as well.
All right, now the second tweet is from @Malblood. He says, I am most excited to see Hai versus Xpeke. If Hai can hold his own, I think Cloud9 will win.
I think that's actually the key to the Cloud9 strategy right now is basically Hai's champion pool. Thinking back to the last time these 2 teams met was at Worlds, and basically Hai got banned out. He had a really short champion pool, and it really hurt his team. I think if Hai's used the offseason to gain a couple more champions, and he doesn't get banned out and gets to bring a lot to help his team, I think that helps Cloud9 a ton.
Of course, see that matchup play out on Sunday. And then the last tweet is from @Oriana is mine. ManCloud versus Alex Ish. We haven't seen this matchup before, and both mids are phenomenal.
I actually really agree. I like watching ManCloud. He really stepped it up throughout 2013. He became one of the premier mid laners in North America. Alex Ich, of course, has been a premier mid laner for like ever. So, of course, these are 2 of the best players in their role. And honestly, XDG's been dark for a while, whereas we just saw Gambit crush a bunch of faces recently. So I want to see how these teams stack up.
Yeah, we'll see that matchup tomorrow, of course. Now, those were some great answers, but we want more. So keep hitting us up on Twitter. We're @LOL Esports. And remember to use the hashtag LCS. And now let's send it back over to Riv and Jat for the play-by-play of Game 2.
Thank you very much, Shocks. It's almost time for Game 2 between Team Alternate and Counter Logic Gaming, as you say. And after a back and forth match 1, it was almost back and back.
Back and forth
Cretan and Alternate are looking to even up the points in the Battle of the Atlantic. just one more win.
Yeah, Alternate looked solid most of that game, aside from the one mistake they made in the start. They obliterated CLG early on in that match. I mean, just from the level 1 strategy where they had 3 people in the bottom lane to just completely shutting down Doublelift again and again. It was nearly a
At one point in the game,
success with Mundo and Shyvana. And if CLG doesn't pick Shyvana here, I feel like Alternate has no reason to not do the same thing. Maybe CLG thinks that because Leona is off the table, they won't be able to get their initiations, but Leona's missing a lot of her ultimates last game. Jayri was not having high percentage plays. It was the Gragas and the Shyvana and the Mundo for Alternate that really carried them through, and none of those things have been taken away by CLG.
and even if they take Shyvana, Arnea still has his lead, something left up from last picks and bans, because Doublelift, I guess Doublelift and Aftermove really felt more of the pain from Leona than they did a complete game Mundo.
And they're just messing around with this.
Yeah.
How much sway does Doublelift and Aftermove have on this team? And they've went for the Shyvana, which is a smart choice.
We'll have to see. Now up to Arnea, there's no reason. I guess he would or wouldn't pick his jungler. I don't feel that Dexter and him use really the same junglers.
Dexter and Arnea, it's hard to say. There was definitely a Jarvan thing for Dexter last year in the European split, and mainly Vi for Arnea.
Right.
So he could always go back to Vi if he wants to, but I like the fact that he's taken Jinx away from Doublelift.
We'll see. Aftermu losing possibly his Thresh this time, so you
They
know,
just took the bot lane right back
alternate
up.
with momentum, take away what they're feeling already good on right now for the matchups.
What's interesting here is Alternate did so well on the bottom lane against the
That
Jinx
was
and the Thresh
dominance.
of CLG.
You put it well when you said that first kill gave them the idea that they could do it over and over.
Exactly. And the fact that they've taken them away now from CLG is a little strange, because they kind of proved that they could beat it. But now they may as well just prove they can beat something else.
It's almost like a battle of sides.
Yeah. They're like, well, you played us with that? We'll play it with that.
We'll still wait. And CLG, it's a little slower this time. Oh, wow. You know what?
They're trading champions now.
Yeah.
They're
Coming
deciding.
into the tournament, I was really hoping somebody would play Tristana because nobody has lately. And I'm excited that somebody picked Tristana.
Tristana wasn't
That
on
was,
Doublelift's tier of 80 carries.
no.
He didn't have him high up. He was
No.
lying to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a late game pick for Doublelift. Tristana has power early and late, but a large lack of power in the mid game.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a 2v1 lane. Or they may just find the same thing that happened last time. Looking at a little bit of AD on this side, we have seen that Syndra is in the playlist. We have not seen her played, though, for quite some time in NA.
No, I would like to see a Syndra here from Kerp, because he could definitely keep Gragas in bay and be a bit of a lane bully, actually, which would play all into alternate strategy, kind of what they won with last game, is get control of mid lane, get control of the jungle, and
Super
then start
fast.
roaming. And Syndra is a champion that can actually do that to Gragas.
Vi still slippery enough to counter in your jungle and get herself out. And looks like those two are going to be locked in, so alternate definitely mixing up the champion pool a little bit as CLG looks more to steal that away.
I really wonder what the last pick from Afro here is. He thinks that Karma is strong against Thresh
A lot of
in
play in
these
AU.
situations. It might leave CLG a little lacking in the... Actually, it would fit quite well with this team composition. You could speed up the tanks. He could peel for double lift. I think it's that or Lulu, I think, is what he's probably trying to decide between.
Aframu does like to be a bit aggressive on his supports. You can do that with Karma.
Especially
Double lift
early. The
still.
Mantrid Q, you can just fire that in the face of a thresh hook and come out on top.
Double lift still holds on to that cleanse, too.
He's taking his time. Yeah, it's going to be a Lulu.
Oh, I haven't
Or
seen
will
Lulu
it?
in quite
He
some
hasn't locked
time
it in
either.
yet.
He has 10 seconds to choose this one. It's really all up to him. Last time they left mid lane. Now they're leaving the support. So everybody just, they kind of knew what they wanted to do.
They picked so many of the early ones really fast.
And
And,
I
then
don't know.
Aframu was like, yeah, I'm going to make you wait.
Actually, is Dexter going to jungle? Oh,
They
maybe?
could swap those if they wanted to.
Yeah, because I was going to say they all picked for themselves, but 1 and 2 didn't. Wait, why didn't 1 and 2? Because they can. So maybe they did.
Hey, Olaf can definitely jungle as well.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would have guessed it? All the top laners can jungle and, except for Vi, not very good top laner. Looking at these team comps entirely, regardless of what CLG tries to do, it's a tank buddy system with double lift as well, so it's not nearly as much poke. And I look at alternate, and they are still going for lane domination, but this time they have more of a late game punch. If CLG tries to stretch the game, they're definitely going to have Jinx as well, who can almost go toe-to-toe with Tristana.
I like it. This Jinx is, J-Ree still has pretty much what he played on last time. He's going to have early aggression, and they're going to be able to get kills in the early game. Oh, I wasn't seeing. No, he has running teleport on Mundo. So they may try to 2v1 because
Kevin's
Tristana's
looking
not the best
comfortable.
dual lane.
Like, Kevin did very well last game. I think it would be doable for a swap, but Aframu really likes getting aggressive in the first couple levels with Lulu.
That's true.
And Double Lift also loves to 2v2 duo lane. I wouldn't expect a swap, but we might see it because a lot of it can just be guessing where to go.
Right. We'll see what they do for each other. But don't forget, remember the Battle of the Atlantic continues tomorrow with North America's XDG, the team formerly known as Vulcan, taking on the resurgent Gambit Gaming. It's not a game to miss.
Yeah, just a reminder that starts tomorrow, which is Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Central European time. We'll be starting at the same time all week.
It's going to be good.
Well, next 3 days.
Consistent. Yeah, that's
week.
true.
Until the 22nd of December.
And then we just rock out the entire spring split.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
So
And
we
it's
are
Christmas
heading,
time.
yeah, holidays. Everybody loves it. Heading into the matchup, the teams facing each other, pitted up right there. Alternate versus CLG. Alternate looking to close out the Battle of the Atlantic with +1 more point on the side of Europe. CLG looks to thwart that here and keep this series alive.
And we have a different trinket in the works this time. RNA has went with the sweeping lens instead of the warding totem right now. We'll see if that can come into play. I always find that the sweeping lens is very hard to use early on in the game because you throw down a sweeper, they see it, and you go away. But they all saw Dexter.
I feel like he invaded with the warding trinket, right? I feel like you'd have the sweeper when you invaded, so maybe he'll actually play a lot different in the jungle. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Well, if you invade with the sweeper, you get to sweep on top of where you invaded to make sure you're not standing on a ward, which can be a little bit of safety.
Right.
I think they would have done that if they'd made it into the blue buff without getting spotted. But because Dexter was playing some defense, I think we're going to see a standard defensive line.
I
we
like
did last
this.
time.
We've seen Nintendo Dex play a lot of Olaf jungle as well. Seems like this Doran's Blade is the thing to do. Some Sylvana's doing it.
Yeah, Olaf loves going double Thorns early. He has so much just straight up damage early on in the game, and it helps him clear a little bit faster. He's not worried about the sustain early.
So it looks like we will get this lane swap going back and forth. Double Lift doesn't want to get that Tristana taken out. Not the most powerful ADC early, but he will be the one to ramp up on that U power curve towards the end of the game. Looks like it's just going to be the personal sentries here, nobody getting too aggressive.
And could Alternate be trying the same trick 2 games in a row?
Oh,
Aha! No. No trick this time.
we have found you. But I do believe they know they will get the 2v2 matchup now. So I don't think Double Lift's going to like that very much. The junglers will begin their rout. We got Biscuits in the mid lane, and that's our featured matchup. So we'll keep an eye on it. It was that Nidalee versus Gragas last game. Now it's Kerp versus Link, Syndra versus Gragas.
Absolutely. And just in case you guys were wondering and not listening in champion selection, CLG is on the red side because it was selected in game 1 and 3 for them. They wanted to be red side. In game 2, Alternate had the choice and they picked blue. So every game will be on this side.
It's not a Zenith Blade, but it still is a long-range grab, and they have taken Doublelift to 50% health here. And this isn't terrible. That's going to happen. There's not much you can do about getting hit in the face with Tristana Lulu just in the beginning. So they're dealing with it.
Yeah, and the more hooks that land for Alternate, the better.
That's bad.
J-Ree's pretty powerful with these. 1 for 2 now. A couple jukes there by Doublelift. He needs to do that early because they missed the level 2 jump right now. Since J-Ree and Kriyatalk push that lane early, it means they get the upper hand early. Let's see if Dexter sneaks his way around that ward.
Arnea still to his jungle. Dexter, he's got good movement on this one. J-Ree is going to be on the backside. Looks like he's telling Cretan, we need to get in a better position here. Let's get lateral to each other, and they are safe.
Sometimes luck just hits the wrong way. When Dexter walked down to where it was just pinged there, he's saying that's warded. It's not warded anymore because the ward died as he was walking into it. If he waited 5 more seconds, it would have been an unsuspecting gank, and it may have even given them the kill. But that's now the second game in a row, I'd say, where Dexter has kind of been spotted around a little bit and puts himself behind the pacing of Arnea.
And it looks like it gave Arnea a little time to hang around, too. Went for another Wraith. Now he's going to invade the jungle knowing that he was topside. So being safe and very nicely played here as Arnea goes for the Wolves. Going to be there. Oh, they just spawned. Lucky him.
More smart counter jungling by Arnea. He's done this in both games, using the smite to make sure he doesn't AoE everything down. Leaves one pathetic little 8 gold wolf up, gets out of there. What's Nian trying to do?
Interesting. Nian going top. Feels like he's pushed in Kevin enough here to draw the jungler down and figure out that he's not there. So a little bit of wasted time on both sides because Nian doesn't get much.
Yeah, but he doesn't see Arnea right here. This could be a lined up gank. He sees him now. Where you going?
Oh, no, the ward's outside the bush.
Hey!
Oh, Nian taking some damage. There's the slow. How's the homework, says Kevin. And they're going to put a few more to the backside. Is there an ignite to come out? There is not. The flash goes in. Too many minions. And it looks like Nian is going to be all right. But Kevin didn't take too much damage.
Yeah, Nian really took his time with that flash. He was hoping to not burn it. He was very mindful that Kevin didn't have ignite. Otherwise, you would have flashed much earlier. Even so, it was a sloppy rotation by Nian, and that's why he had to burn the flash.
Looking at that matchup, only 30 to 25 in CS, so even with the harassed Doublelift, still keeping in range, and you're always expected to have more CS than a Tristana due to that E explosive shot passive farming. So doing all right in that lane.
That way.
Right.
Wonder if Kevin's going to get a little overzealous in this lane. Found a friend. He's not.
That's just him. There's no ward there. He said, you know what? Spidey sense. So clearing out. Dexter having a little bit more trouble. There's always knowledge of Dexter on the map for alternate. It's got to be a pain in the butt for him.
What's interesting is because Dexter was actually in the same league of alternate, they've spent so long playing against him.
Yeah.
Sure, he's slightly different gank pass in the new season. It's not like what Dexter will be like against all the other American teams,
right,
where people haven't played against him before. Alternate's very experienced with where Dexter goes.
Also have to consider how much these lanes here are being pushed up. If it looks like they're going to be able to get a gank bottom, they may just be reading it that easily. Top lane now being hugged up by Arnea here. Looking for a possible entry on a 3v2 gank. But it looks like the safety by CLG as they back. And Kerp actually pushed Link out of mid lane. We'll have to see how he does when coming back with a pink and a green.
Well, Syndra has the upper hand on Gragas if he gets level 6 first.
Oh, yeah. And he is, yeah.
Yep,
wow.
And that's why Link went back right there, because he needed the gold to pick up a Chalice of Harmony, and that Chalice of Harmony would hopefully save him if Kerp tries to burst him down. Kerp, since he was able to wait a little longer, gets boots as well, so that's the edge he's been able to get because he played that lane properly.
So we'll see how the farm goes. Still to that mid lane as it is our matchup. Kerp is going to be winning a bit on this one. He was beating Link, I believe, by about 10 to 15 minutes by about 20 CS. So keep an eye on that. The gold still quite even. I believe that was in Vision.
They want to get a Mundo. Tower diving Kevin here. all three of them are going to have to do quite well. Kevin's going to pop his ultimate almost immediately.
Oh, he is actually heading away from the turret right now. He does not want to give Link this assist, but it is inevitable, and they are able to get first blood in the bottom lane. Link being the first one to roam in this game.
Yeah, and there wasn't too much of a push back towards the mid turret there by Kerp. He's going to try to catch Gragas in transit here.
Ooh, I thought he was going to wait, hit him with Scattered and Unleashed Power. It probably would have been enough being Syndra, but it doesn't look like he's given up on that hope just yet.
He doesn't realize he was spotted by a ward in the river. He's got to get out of there before trying to steal that blue.
He knows now. The ward goes over, but that almost makes him safer because they know they're going to try for it, and he's going to give himself a bit of vision. Try to steal this away, nice and cheekily.
He wants to be able to grab it, but
no deals.
Link was able to spike it down. So CLG is the ones that made the first successful maneuver this time. They didn't get tricked by any brush tactics from Ultimate, and they were able to go around and get that kill. And to get back to our featured matchup, it hasn't really played out like I thought it would. Last season in North America, Link was a very dominant laner, but Kerp has actually been pushing him around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was actually Link transitioning fairly well into the mid game on Nidalee that helped keep CLG into that, which is something he was weak at last year. So it's almost like Link's skills have swapped around, whereas Kerp, in his first competitive experience in mid lane, has just dominated. Not only did he beat Link in lane, he also won the game for his team at the end of it with the kick-ass double kill barrel combo.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. Still kind of wrapping my head around that right now. Double lift. He loves to put a hole in his pockets with money. He's sitting on about 2,000 gold right now to the 1,100 on the other side, but I think that's their entire point of the Tristana Lulu lane. Save Double Lift when he needs it, let him farm until late game. Because they saw the result last time. Double Lift was in a better position.
Double Lift right now is having a better time farming than he did in the last game.
Oh yeah.
We haven't seen RNA's gank yet though, and level 6 ganks from Vi usually show what person Alternate wants to go for.
It's true. A lot quicker from Arnea last time, so with this 6 now, we'll see if he makes himself present in the lanes. He is going to be walking through a ward into that mid, and all of his lanes but bottom are quite pushed up, so maybe the go on the end that they're looking for.
Yeah, well, at least RNA's mid lane Kerp is doing quite well. Again, he's 20 CS up on
Yep.
lane. And he doesn't necessarily need to help that lane. But the way Kerp is pushing it as well, it's not an easy lane for RNA to gank. Actually, if I was RNA right now, I wouldn't know where to go. It's a tough decision to make at this point in the game. There's not many places for him to actually gank because the mid lane is always pushed back.
Yeah.
Nien is saving his ultimate to escape potential Vi ganks, and they don't have that much lockdown in that lane aside from just what Vi can bring. And then Double Lift and Aframu are also playing extremely passive, so it seems like RNA is making the right call here, despite being level 6 and now 7 on Vi, just trying to farm.
This doesn't get any easier for as it comes up to the objective. Once they start rotating those lanes down, Gragas still has an upper hand at a dragon fight. Olaf now, everybody's up to ultimate level. They have a pretty good idea of what should happen right now, actually.
And the timing of this couldn't be more unfortunate for Ultimate. Right as RNA was trying a gank on the opposite side of where Link was roaming to, it's a dragon being taken straight by CLG. And no ward coverage either, so a clean dragon from CLG.
I did not think it was going to happen that fast. I expected a quick tower pressure in the top lane with a 3v2, but very well played. 10 minutes, making that nice for them, and the first real gold lead that we've seen, but it's not helping out too many people. The BF sword finally brought out by Double Lift. He increases a little bit in power, but still nothing they can use to get kills in lane 1.
No, and this is the dip in the game right now for Double Lift. Around level 7 or 8, Tristana starts getting quite weak, and he's not even doing the Blade of the Ruined King Tristana to help augment his weak middle game. He's going all about the late game. Double Lift's going to have an Infinity Edge and maybe even a Zeal and Last Whisper before we start seeing him making some big damaging plays. Which means, Riv, gotta hanker down for a long game.
A long game? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh! For a Mega Death Rocket to the face, and he is going to go down. Arnea finds that kill. Aframu goes down as well, and when Alternate wants something, they take it.
That was actually a little bit surprising. It was a double roam up top, and CLG just got caught in a really bad place. And to add insult to injury, J-Ree landed his death sentence when the cavalry was already on its way. That was just really well done by Alternate.
You can see not too many summoners used by Double Lift and Aphromoo there. They knew that was a sealed fate. They were going down. 12 minutes to the top turret. Dexter is forced to be up top now. This again gives RNA a free reign. They know where Dexter is, but again, Link with the rotation to the bottom lane, and there is not much crowd control to be had for Kevin, so he could tie his shoes and run this one out pretty well.
Oh, RNA's trying to save him.
Oh, he punched behind him. Almost being able to save him. Kevin goes down. Now he finds himself in the 2v1. But here comes Kurt from the top lane. Will he be able to scatter and get that ultimate off? Unleash Power is ready to be used. They can't get that punch off, and there's no crowd control for in the end. He goes in hard, tries to get RNA from the backside and stay with the walk, forces the flash. And you can see Kurt may not have the damage. The Ignite is going to be enough. And he finds Link before he can get out of this situation alive.
Kerp played that one just right. Even though Aranea had to run away, Kerp kept and played defense for him. What ended up happening is Yan thought he saw an opportunity, he baited his teammate Link into it, and it ends up getting Gragas killed.
And Kevin says, no, my lane, let's go. Still, wow, he took a lot of damage just teleporting in. Full HP,
Yeah.
and Yan was able to take him down with a few auto attacks and that burnout. Link coming back up, the Athene's finish for him. And we are seeing this Nien actually go for the full damage Shyvana. Maybe he'll go Hydra after that and be crazy for us.
Yeah, that would be a little bit absurd. I think the Blade of the Ruined King is first up for him.
Yeah.
He's trying to use it to directly counter the health stacking that Kevin's going to try and do on Mundo. We'll have to wait and see if that works out. I think it's a pretty bold move considering he's up against Syndra, because if he doesn't go tanky, a lot of Shyvanas would go Spirit Visage first against Mundo. Since he doesn't go tanky, he is opening himself up to getting spiked out by Kerp's Syndra.
Or spiking people out. Yeah, he's
With Shyvana.
Gold coming back to even just about, and they look to stretch that here. Dexter hitting the undertow very nicely on the max range backside. It looks like they're going to be able to take down Kevin here. Dragon's Descent as they share the kill, but also give one up. The retribution for himself there. We may have a finisher by Gragas.
Yeah, we saw a couple things there. Like, he used his Bilgewater Cutlass active to help that gank happen, but then he died to the turret because he wasn't tanking. Give and take.
Link trying to get his assist on it, but he couldn't get in time. 14:08 on the clock. Aranea back into the opposing jungler's jungle. That's where he lives, your jungle. And he is going to be taking that out. 57-71, and as much time as he's actually been wasting trying to gank, he's down 20 CS, but still putting out the power, the wild growth as well as the Vault, or Salt and Battery rather.
Yeah, and it means they can secure this turret as well for alternates. So I'm not going to say they did it completely alone, because Creaton and J-Re had some help from Aranea coming up, but this is the second game in the row where Creaton has had a substantially better laning phase than Doublelift. He's up 31 farm on him right now. Both Doublelift and Aphromoo have taken a death, and it's just Creaton winning once again.
We also see the mid lane stacked up in CS. We said it would be about 20 by 15 minutes, and Kerp has found that. But then again, Link has been roaming. Link has been trying to fuel his team with kills and get them up to par. Kerp finishing the Deathfire grasp here. He is going to be a big problem.
He's all about the single target burst right now. You can see some Syndras go for the death cap because they're looking for more of the team destroy you instantly. Now it's the singular person at this point. If he catches Link in any type of stun combo, he might be able to burst him down with that Deathfire grasp as well.
Blade of the Rune King finished up on Nien. They have swapped the lanes back, so Dragon Control could be the same. Now hitting it out Unleash Power is not going to be enough as the Ignite just coming up for Kurt, but I don't think it would have made him follow through.
Yeah, the Ignite wouldn't have quite gotten him the kill. I think he's going to need a bit of magic penetration before that combo is going to work, but that just when it showed you the power of Syndra and why he is keeping Link so far back in the lane.
Dexter walking over a ward once again, but he's doing what he can, trying to be omnipresent for his team. This has given Aranea the chance to stay really away from him instead of in his face, as actually mid and top meet in this one. Kevin's going to be taking a little bit of damage here. Mid turret goes down. It's the second one. Alternate now. Both games in a row have taken the first turret. Coming in hard. And it looks like, I don't know, not going to slow him.
Cleavers to the face. Keep
All
him
of
alive.
them.
But it showed you the Blade of the Ruined King definitely gets a lot of damage out of Kevin.
Yep.
That was Nien's Ignite, though, so he won't be able to try a maneuver like that for a while. The Dragon is also up at this point. Maybe we'll see a contention point.
TP is down for Mundo. I don't know if he's going to... Wow, very
that's a nice shot.
scatter. Get in the weak. A death sentence. Oh, he pulls him in. He goes downtown on double lip. Will they be able to get the kill on this one? Is there anything to finish it up from long range? The rocket misses just on the outside, and they're going to be able to start cleaning this one up. Aframu, can he get one more glitter lance? Fires it onto Arnea, and they are able to solidify this kill, but he is going to try to keep them locked up here for Creaton. Not much can be done, though.
And Jay Ree kind of sentenced himself to death when he went for that long ride back into double lift. Nobody could finish him off. The rest of CLG actually sandwiched Alternate. It meant Kerp couldn't get to the place he wanted, and CLG comes right back here, knowing the Dragon is up, gets a turret, and a little bit more.
That is going to be a lot bit more. They get Dragon, Timer, no ward to come onto this, and they hold the pink in that area for the time to come, which just means the map is now becoming theirs, even though they lost turrets first, as they did in last game, and it didn't turn out the same.
Yeah, let's take a look and see how this fight actually happened. The shot back from Double actually hit the team right into Gragas and Dexter. Then the long jump from Jayreen overextended him from the team. There was so much protection on Double as well that they couldn't quite finish him off. And then even the Super Mega Death Rocket couldn't finish Double. They end up getting 3 kills all told at the end of this one. A turret and a Dragon. Pretty much everything went CLG's way in that fight.
Now they have the 2,000 gold lead. A lead in the gold is not something that they had last game either. So really turning this one around and finding their bearings a lot earlier.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't think Doublelift was going to be able to do much, and he didn't really. There was alternate overextending on Doublelift that created that fight. Doublelift wasn't doing damage. He didn't even have his Infinity Edge, and he didn't even get a kill on that. If the rest of alternate would have focused more on the primary team fight, I think they could have actually gotten a lot more done.
He's actually still ramping up his rapid fire as well, so he's not getting everything out of that speed steroid just yet. Maxing his E in laning phase and trying to match that level 5 Q with his timing of the Infinity Edge. See, the 2 kills on the team are to Dexter and to Link, so enough to keep the game going, enough to keep the game carried.
4-man dive to a half-health Doublelift right now. Look out!
You may have finished that Infinity Edge, but it may not last long. Oh, a lot was missed by Kurt. Can they still get the kills in on this one? Yes, they can, and the double kill for him working out very well.
There was no escape in that one. Alternate got the jump on CLG, really good roam, and then they didn't need to execute perfectly, but they executed quite well. Kerp got the double kill, and that's all they wanted from that dive.
The trackball plays are real, and they are coming out right now. 6-6 is the score. The gold lead is still held, and CLG is doing this thing. It seems like they're down, but they're up in everything right now. There's a few ultimates, a little bit too much assist, I think, on the pushing him away. Dexter's forced to go a little bit harder than he wants, but it's not stopped. Very nice job getting in and out. He may be able to finish by a Q. Kurt doesn't follow it up. Oh, waiting on the cooldown and the undertow to keep him alive.
Oh, but Arne is going for him as well. Are they going to get him stuck?
He got the scat of the week. Nien's just on the other side, and Niemann had drawn the whole party with him. Nien to turn on the burnout. Arnea cannot follow up.
So he did go too hard because it ended up costing him his
little
life.
bit.
But at least we got some more excitement out of it. It's now 5 kills on a Kerp, 3 kills on a Dexter, and this game has gotten quite interesting.
20 minutes in, even across the board as that last turret has just gone down. The mid turret's now falling. We have to remember that mid turret going down for CLG last game pretty much cost them the entire mid game. Stopping that is really allowing them to put these fights out. Pushing now Arnea out of the jungle. Before, that was them getting their buff stolen and a whole lot of chaos.
Well, that was a nice steal by Alternate right there because they were able to get it right out of Link's hands before he was able to collapse in behind them. Trying to take stock of really what's happening in this game. I feel like Alternate needs to make some plays sooner rather than later. They're kind of getting dictated to by CLG right now. Dexter's ganks have been much more successful this match, and RNAs have been much less, especially since Kerp is at a very strong point in the game right now. He's finished 2 of his magic penetration items to go with his Deathfire Grasp. He can kill pretty much anyone on the map right now, and the rest of Alternate needs to kind of go with him and try and make more plays happen. It's this awkward part in the game where both teams have 3 turrets down. So you can chase quite long distances and you can catch people in a lot of open field.
And even Alternate this game is staying much more in a laning phase. CLG was kind of forced into this last time, but you can see everybody's still farming in their regular lanes instead of Alternate 4-manning something as they just did bottom. They went back. They're not 4-manning mid anymore. They were all pushing mid turret by this time last game, and then it slowed down. Here, they're not as sure.
And and Alternate is not falling for this
Oh dear.
little trick. No one's close to you guys.
The upper
CLG
Fnatic
should
rush.
just back away. At this point, Double's going to farm up a little more. He's still far behind Creaton's Jinx. Although Creaton's went with a much different build than Doublelift did. He's going Bloodthirster to Phantom Dancer. That's actually not something you hardly ever see anymore. You'll usually see a Bloodthirster to Static Shiv or an Infinity Edge to a Phantom Dancer, but not that combination because it's not a super strong lane push and it's not the most damage.
Kevin getting a little bit of harassed. Whoa, Dragon's Descent going down. He sees the damage that he's got out. Blade of the Rune King has already been used, so the speed up is going to help Kevin get away here. Fully utilized. Nian putting himself in some sticky situations, and the team cannot push anything off of it.
Yeah, and Yen got a little ahead of himself right there. If the rest of CLG was doing something, it would have been a great distraction, but he was completely on his own there, behind enemy lines, and he got no support.
Just taking a look at the cams, seeing how much these teams are communicating. You can see a bit of chatter on the side of Alternate, getting the kills, saying nice job. Not too many strats here. Both of the teams, I think, are kind of just playing the let's feel out what the other team is doing. And this is what it really started to come down to at 40 minutes, but these teams are feeling it now.
Yeah, 22 minutes in this time. Gold is still even. Link put a barrel on a ward, decided to sit around. His item build is coming along, though. He's got his death cap on Gragas. He's not necessarily safe of getting spiked out by Kerp right now. And what CLG is hoping to do is catch Alternate prepping for Dragon by beating them to the spot, but Dexter kind of gave away CLG's cards there.
Just want to get full vision, eyes on everybody on the team. It's too dangerous to push one of these turrets without having wards on your entry to the jungle on either side. Really nice damage going down onto the Dragon right now. Doublelift actually has that Zeal and critical cloak out, so he will start to put out some big damage if he can get those shots. And Dragon's down to half. Alternate's going to force them right off of this one.
It's a smite
well
battle.
within range of the smite. It actually just goes to Kevin on that one as the smites go down. Arnea didn't even get to that time, but they do get out, and with smiles.
Dexter smited, but it was a Mundo Cleaver that ended up getting it, and they end up not fighting each other. Really curious circumstance right there. You could tell neither team wanted to fully commit. There's a lot of displacement on CLG with the Gragas ultimate and the Buster Shot from Tristana, and that's not something Arnea really was willing to jump into.
You almost can't. Neither can Nian, or rather, Nian cannot jump in. Neither can Dexter, because you get that unleashed power. Kerp's going to take somebody out, and nobody can follow up. That's one of the scariest things. That literally, everybody needs a Spirit Visage right now, and a lot more health.
And they're working on it. You can see the Kindle Gem on both of the tanks for CLG. Even the Spectre's Cowl for Nian. The Spirit Visage is definitely going to be his first item.
Dang, I was really hoping for that Hydra Jack.
The Blade of the Ruined King Hydra Shyvana build. Just go mess somebody
Hey man,
up.
it happens in gold, all right? Teams both coming up on 40K. We'll see what the inventories hold for everybody. Who really has the most cash right now? It was Doublelift around this point in time as he started to get kills. 8,800, 10,000 though in the hands of Kerp, as we do see him at 6-1-0. Nothing can stop him right now. They have to utilize that power in these fights.
Well, look at that teleport from Kevin. He's trying to block Link from jumping away, but the Lulu wall saves the day.
And that was one of my favorite things that RNA actually mentioned about Mundo when we were in Europe. And he says, Mundo isn't the person that runs into the fight and helps. He's the guy that teleports, and once he's in the fight, then you know it's already over because he's in the fight.
Yeah, once he makes it to the fight. But that one was over. He just couldn't keep him involved. He was not able to stay in front of Lincoln.
Yeah, nobody wants to stay when you hear that noise. Especially not once he's got that Sunfire Spirit Visage as well, so he's going to be able to run around Burning Agony Sunfire on. Right now he'll tend to top lane as well as Shyvana. The Bruiser Wet Spaghetti Noodle battle will begin in just a few minutes.
Well, they got to be a little careful because Doublelift's starting to get some of his items. Infinity Edge 2, the Phantom Dancer. We might see this fight over blue though because COD's got more people. It got stolen away.
No.
Kidnap.
They really... Oh, wait! He got it!
Was it worth the ultimate though? Doublelift jumps in.
Oh, whoa! Doublelift cleanses off the rest of whatever damage was coming towards him. Afromu looking to help him with one more shield, and here they go on to Creatine. He's forced to use the barrier. That's going to be a lot of damage he's got coming towards him, and it's going to be enough to take him down. Dexter will follow, and it's going to be Link trying to get away. The big man has blue buff, and he should be able to body slam to safely here. Safety, if he's got enough. I don't know. He went the
picked
other
a
way.
direction.
He went the other way, and it looks like he's hooked in. Hook, line, and sinker.
3 kills right there for Alternate, and CLG's trying to push to compensate for this one. That was not a good fight for CLG. You could tell Alternate just landed all the spells.
Once they start getting their full team up and they get to these turrets, their siege potential is immense. 2-man turret take. Kevin didn't even make it from top to bottom lane, so if the rotation is right, CLG will start to gain a lot on this push.
And it was yet more kills onto Kerp. That guy is getting so immensely powerful right now. Let's take another look at why this one happened. Doublelift was way overzealous jumping in, and he never re-engaged to the fight. That's a very important thing right here. That means when Link and Dexter went down to finish off Kriachan and J-Ree, that the alternate collapse could finish them off. Because normally, CLG was kind of expecting Doublelift to help them out there. He was just too low. And that meant the rest of alternate could just chase down Link and Dexter since they were the ones to overcommit for a kill.
Very
Josh
well
is done.
played.
Got hit by another.
Making sure you waste the most amount of time if you know you're going down. Chase me, chase me.
And they did get a turret out of it.
Yeah.
So a push and pull there in that fight, but mostly won by alternate.
Still down in gold and down in kills. It's swayed, not still, I should say. It's swayed back the other way. They do have the turrets in their advantage, and right now it seems up to the base. That's exactly what's going to get you these games. All that potential gold sitting on the map. It's what really put alternate ahead last game. They got mid, they stole the buffs, and took everything else they could on the map. Kills need to start coming in for CLG, though.
Yeah, you can see COD's trying to hold off, but Doublelift.
Whoa! Ooh. He like shot between his legs while he was jumping. That was nice.
Fancy.
Yeah, it was real fancy.
Yeah. Doublelift with the moves.
Let's see if he can do it again. I think it was lucky.
He's got to wait for the cooldown. He's still trying to farm up, though. Yet to get a kill. You can see he's off in split push mode. COD's one of the few teams to use their 80 carries as split pushers.
Yeah.
Aframu's trying to support him a little bit, because if a Mundo came for him at this point in the game, he would need a little help getting away. And since COG is actually down their 3 outer turrets, it's a little bit more difficult for Alternate to push in on them as well. We're still kind of in this, I want to call it an extended mid-game, because ever since the teams got the 3 outer turrets down on both sides, they've really struggled to gain any type of advantage, and it's keeping the big open battlefield going.
And a big advantage, at least CLG shut down early. It's good to see they cleaned this mistake up, was that laning phase in the 80 carry portion of it. J-Ree is not 6-0-5 this game, and they are ultimately faring better at the 25-minute mark. They're more aggressive. Nien going into the jungle alone here. They feel like they can create a lot more.
And they're just committing for this. All 5 members of CLG are down here, but they used a whole bunch and got almost no damage down. So CLG's got to kind of run away of this one, even though they're 5v4.
Arnea says, get out of here. One last punch to the group before they head out. Good damage, though. It's a bit of poke from the team that looks more melee, and it's working out for him.
And Mundo's trying to get around behind him. If Kevin could somehow close, this could be a good fight for Alternate.
Oh, Dexter, the wild growth is already down. That means they don't have the save. Doublelift has to play extra careful here. Kevin taking a good amount of damage as he throws down that Mundo ultimate, and the health bars of CLG just get absolutely shredded. Falling one after the other. Mundo on the front line. A double kill. The triple kill to come in here. Kriachan actually picks that one up over the shoulder of Kevin, and they look fierce on that.
And there's plenty more for them to take after that one. You could see Alternate was just ready to go once they saw CLG burn their skills beforehand. CLG has nothing to fight them with here. Dexter gets locked down, but the big thing is when Syndra arrives to this fight. He gets the stun on 3, combos it with the Q and the ult, just everything. And then CLG had nowhere to run. Kevin finished off the rest of them because there's no stopping a Mundo once he's in a fight, and Alternate takes everything afterwards.
The fight up till now did not write that story. It did not say somebody was going to handily win a fight. That should have been back and forth, but it was so well played by Alternate. They also grabbed Baron coming off of that one. They get the first Baron last game, secured it this game, and CLG will do again what they can to keep those dragons in their favor. Stick in.
Yeah, I just can't say enough about the opportunistic nature of Alternate's fight there. We knew that Alternate kind of had to make something happen in this game, since Doublelift Tristana was actually farming fairly well after the laning phase ended. And then as soon as CLG showed 5 bottom, used a Lulu ult, used a Shyvana ult as well, it meant that there was no way CLG could realistically turn and fight. And as long as Alternate could get in range, they'd be able to win. And they just really brute forced their way in there. That wasn't a fight, it was just a catch.
No, and when you look at the levels, it really tells you why. At level 17 Kerp, Dexter just hit 14. Link is still 16. Doublelift is 15. There's almost 3 to 4 levels of an average between these guys. I'd say 3. But that is huge. That means your abilities are wiping people out faster than they should.
Yeah, and they're just going to continue this push now if they have the Baron buff. They have Jinx, who's a better tower sieger by far to Lucian last game, and they're just going to be able to poke with the Syndra and the Jinx and take as many outer turrets as they can.
That's when Ragnarok is not a deterrent for an engagement. They will just continuously go onto you. They are ready to fight these. Looking at the inhibitor turret now, not much is going to keep them from stopping this. Kerp trying to put out the damage. He throws out a double lift. Ooh. Holy macaroni, double lift. Didn't have to cleanse that one off, but does keep himself alive. The rocket! Oh, Dexter catches that one before it hits the end zone. And Alternate, it was looking for blood right now.
Yeah, if they could have gotten double lift down, they would have taken a lot more. But then Link fired back and actually got Kerp to just as low the amount of health. So that'll repel that push for now.
They have to know now, Kerp will walk inside your base alone and try to kill your AD carry. They shouldn't be standing that close. These guys are telegraphing that they really aren't giving any respect to the defense of CLG right now.
I gotta hand it to Kerp. He's played fantastic in both of these games so far. Really, mid lane just seems to suit him so well right now.
And especially to be one of the players that swapped. Like you say, mid lane suits him so well. Was the top laner. 9-1-3 versus a veteran mid laner.
Yes.
And 319 CS, so just above and beyond right now. Very well played. 15-8, 33 minutes in. It doesn't look like they're stopping whatsoever. The teleport comes in as well, and we have Doublelift trying to push.
What's he doing?
As they're getting on inhibitor turrets.
Doublelift is just nowhere to be found. This fight will be lost by CLG.
Dexter getting hit up pretty hard here. He tries to do what damage he can, but the bars, health bars of Alternate not even budging on this one. Doublelift looking to pick up potential gold for his team, but it can't be an entire base. Alternate's looking to do that.
Doublelift is going to try and push as long as possible right here, but Alternate has just mopped the floor with them so far. It's an inhibitor down. Do they stop or do they try to recall? Because Doublelift is still going.
They don't have much displace. The ulti's down from Gragas. You can only polymorph one person, and there's more damage than that. Doublelift looks for the turret, and it looks like they hang their heads on this one. No, comes back now. Doublelift gets into the base. Creaton getting hit up quite hard. He's forced to jump out of this. Has the red buff on, and they keep this going.
Link is just trying to keep them trapped in the base. What a ridiculous fight right now. Alternate gets away with the Nexus turret and a kill onto Link.
Alternate is going to move out. They're going to slow things down, but this just showed that they are ready to take the game. The Battle of the Atlantic was way in their favor once they started the second game because of the momentum.
Well, they had a very close game here. They've really just been playing this ever since about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely flawlessly. And CLG made a big mistake there. Doublelift should not have been in that bottom lane split push. With his inhibitor on the line like that, staying as well and not expecting Alternate to have the balls to just push through for the Nexus turret, a huge miscalculation.
With this experience being spread out now, level 14 Dexter to his counterpart, 16 Aranea in the jungle, he's not going to level as fast as he needs to. These are the guys that are getting pulled in, the ones that are supposed to break chaos in the fight and continue it. They're the ones that are dying first, and there can't be a follow-up after that. CLG is in a pretty bad spot right now, and they need to hold out like they did last game.
Yeah, well, this game CLG is not nearly as down in gold, but
that's true. It was about
also
10,000.
Kerp wasn't as farmed at this point in the game.
No, but that was Cretan last game.
Yeah. As well, this time Cretan is on Jinx, so that's going to help him substantially. Once he completes that Infinity Edge, he'll be doing just as much, if not more, than Doublelift once the kills start coming down, because he can just get excited on Jinx and chain around a fight, much like Doublelift would want to with his rocket jump refreshing every time he gets a kill or assist. It's going to be a... You know, we're kind of in a situation where we were last game, where CLG has to hold off. And even though the gold is much closer, I feel like Alternate is just as much ahead.
See what Aranea can continue to do. Playing two different styles of jungle. More gank and counter-oriented last game, really messing up Dexter's jungle. The fact that Alternate has always had eyes on Dexter has really could be attributed to the laning phase and why it's so safe for them.
Yeah, and RNA has gotten so much assist bonus gold. That's another kind of new thing the junglers can get more farmed off of. He's getting 60 extra gold on every assist right here, actually, because he's got so many more kills than assists than kills. Oh, dear. That was 2 spells.
Oh, coming around the backside. They're going to try to initiate this. That was a great Gragas ult, but nobody's on the follow-up. Again, it was just to disperse. Nien trying to do what he can here. Link on the backside. Holding up the damage. Cretin very low. That's what they needed. It's going to be Dexter wreaking havoc now. He's got it going down. That lower the HP goes, the faster he swings. But they can't take down the Kevin once again. Arnea there. The Baz brothers to go back in. Will it be able to happen? Nien and Dexter looking for kills.
Where's he going?
One last undertow, and he won't be able to chuck it. They need it for Kevin. They need it to thwart this up. Kevin flashes. Burning Agony and Sunfire Cape isn't enough. Can Dexter spellvamp this back? Oh my god, they stay alive in the turret. A third member finally thwarts him off the fight.
Everyone died except the tanks, and then they played for a little while
Oh
and
my
decided to
gosh.
run away from each other. But that was a very condensed fight, I have to say. It was a good hold by CLG because they couldn't have gotten away with anything else. Because Kerp was actually forward in this fight and decided to blow his burst on Aframu, it meant CLG actually got an initiation that they pretty much wanted. Watch the 80 carries as well. Doublelift got dove on by Arnea, and Link was able to get onto Jinx. So at that point, all the squishies have kind of traded themselves for themselves, and then once Dexter finished off J-Ree, there's just a couple tanks playing with each other here.
I gotta give props there. J-Ree's Thresh Flay on the Dragon Descent popped him right down into the Flame Chompers, and they negated all that
Could have
damage.
saved a lot of trouble. CLG may have came out of that one a lot better off if J-Ree wouldn't have pulled off that play.
See the 3,000 gold starting to sway just a little bit. What they want is backup, but we've heard about the Gragas on the red side. This is a little bit more dangerous of a steal to try and take.
Yeah, they can't actually do Baron if Gragas is in range with spells. It's far too dangerous. He would spike much more damage than Arnea would be able to smite.
They know it. They pulled off it a lot more than they engaged in that fight last time. They were already punching Baron in the face. Kevin with teleport up, heading back down towards the bottom lane, so they utilize that pressure again as the game gets later. He is ready to start being chaotic.
Well, he has his teleport up, so CLG is trying to force a play right here.
Yeah, they have to back.
I don't know if this is the right idea for CLG. They're trying to push forward here, and Kevin can take these down. As long as CLG doesn't find a clean initiation, there's no stopping that Dr. Mundo.
No minion wave for them to push right now. They're in a pushed lane, which really just gives time for Alternate to set up and Mundo to see exactly where they are. They're going to actually trail back through a set of wards as well. He still has vision.
And they're going right for Baron this time, so they're either forcing a 4v5 in the Baron pit or they're making Kevin teleport in. This is going to be a really interesting play. He's going for an inhibitor, but he's going to have to TP in if he wants to stop this Baron.
This is almost like the Hail Mary last-ditch effort. They have to turn the talisman as Ascension goes off. Dexter throws out the ultimate immediately. All they have to do is wait for that. Another ultimate is taken down.
Oh, Mundo's
they
in.
are flexing their muscles, and nobody's there to see it. Doublelift gets focused on. There goes the ball breaker. Assault battery right back out. And it looks like they are going to be just bundled up inside the box right now. Dexter and Nien are holding off. Good HP on them still, but it's ticking down on them. They can't last forever.
So a lot of disengaging in that fight. Doublelift hit his friend back over the blue buff area, but then just kind of stood there because he wasn't in range to shoot anybody. That was a very interesting fight. Only the tanks were really taking damage, and since they've all built mostly full tank, they couldn't get at each other. Now it's Alternate's turn to get the Baron. I don't know if CLG can make it back in time. Link does not have his ultimate to steal.
The Zanyas is down. Randuin's is up for the side of CLG as well as Alternate, but they just have too much damage. Can't even make it from home base.
Yep. Alternate definitely outplayed CLG there. They got CLG low from the initial engagement, and then they were able to headily just take the Baron because they knew they were all healthy enough and they knew how fast they could kill it.
J-Ree already starting to build that tank as the Crucible comes out. Again on the side of Aframu, focusing on keeping the team safe before themselves a lot of times, trying to always focus Doublelift. It's the late game, he's Tristana, and they really put it as a priority.
The items are starting to get there too.
Yeah.
You can see Creaton is actually much strong. Well, no, never mind. Did not see that Bloodthirster in there. They're very close in items at this point. It's a Negatron Cloak to a Spectre's Cowl. And if Doublelift is to be believed, he says nothing matches late game Tristan. But I think Jinx is right there with them. Like, they're incredibly similar. I almost think Jinx is a little bit stronger. So Alternate, I think, is still in a very good spot in this match.
Definitely Both champions give that ability to outplay. We'll have to see who has the hands warmed up for this matchup now. 42 minutes in, just shy of our last game's time. 21-13 means these teams have no problem taking each other out to get that next objective. 7-5. Only leaves 5 more turrets on the map here for CLG. Aframu going very, very low. One more shot. 957 crit coming out from Creaton there. They look onto the inhibitor now. Nian just on the outside. All he can do is focus Kerp. Everybody just takes down the inhibitor, walks through.
Aframu is trying to make a play there. Doublelift gets hit by a stun, and here's the fight.
Gonna be Nian trying to make his way. Again, Dragon's Descent used to pretty much half engage the fight, more for the flexing of the muscles. One Nexus turret stands, and this looks like the last game here for CLG. They're back against the walls, trying to make their way out.
This is a tough push to make for Alternate. There are some home guard boots on CLG. We're going to see it here.
Last-ditch effort going in to get onto Kerp. Big damage is going to be coming in. If Kerp can get its reckless swing out, he will be able to take him down. It is going to be Kerp on the ground. Dexter doing his job. Double kill coming in here for Creaton, and he starts to rack up those kills. Triple kill for Creaton. 8-3-8 on the end of the game. The Battle of the Atlantic sways the next way to the even, and it looks like it is going to be taken by Alternate here in the second game. 2 clean sweep against CLG.
And it was Creaton at the end of the day that just rolled through the CLG lineup. A very happy RNA in there, giving some hugs to his new top laner, Kevin. Alternate upsets, I'd have to say, CLG 2-0.
Definitely not something I believe the fans expected.
Well, not the fans here. We had a very
Right.
heavy
Absolutely.
CLG favorite fan here. The pre-roll videos had Dexter saying 2-0, but
Yeah.
man, Alternate came out strong. Mundo, both games for
Had to
Kevin.
be respected.
Creaton and Jay Ree just beat up Doublelift and Afro for 45 minutes in each game. It was a very impressive showing by Alternate.
Definitely have to be a happy crew right now. Our matchup, the melee in the mid lane of Kerb versus Link. Link coming out of 2 splits here. Kerb seeing him move down from the top lane. And I think it really just be said he played exceptional.
Oh, he played out of his mind. He started that game 8-1 on Syndra. For such a back and forth first game, his Gragas was also completely dominating. That was a very sharp looking Alternate team.
They had different strategies for what they wanted to do. Like we said, Arnea was counter jungling and ganking in the first game. The second game just kind of consisted of counter jungling, and they knew where Dexter was the whole time. They played per the situation.
A huge amount of ganking from Arnea too. He was 3-1-18, part of 21 of the 26 team kills. Extremely involved. That's kind of been his role on that team. It's generally a team of like back in its foundation, like the highest elo and highest rated players in Challenger. And then RNA, who's never been that high as far as the other guys are. But it's because he knows team play. He communicates more than anyone else, and he helps the other guys out. And that's what he did in that one.
Diamond was gold when they picked him up. Diamond Prox, so go figure. One of the best junglers in the world. All those junglers, they got the team communication, or the social, they would say in EU, to really make it happen.
Yeah, Dexter, also another European jungler, did not have the most impressive debut for CLG. He almost made a couple plays in that last game with Olaf, really trying to run in there.
Yeah.
But he could not run through all the tanks, and he definitely could not finish off Creaton.
It seemed like game 2, and it's something you can always do when somebody feels good. They played a good Gragas, they played a good Shyvana, they played a good Mundo. Is you take those champions and you play them. And while those champions, I believe, sit fairly high in the pools of CLG, I think they kind of did it on the whim of we're taking their champions.
Kind of looking at this one back, if we go all the way to kind of the picks and bans, you got to wonder whether the Annie ban from CLG or even the Ziggs bans were really worth it when Kevin was so comfortable on Mundo,
right,
and Kerp was destroying them anyway with whatever he decided to play. Kevin never got forced into any type of off-comfort champion. Yeah. I think CLG is going to have to do a little bit of retrospection on those picks and bans.
Sometimes, I don't know, what did they say in the video? That they come into this one knowing what the teams play, but they're going to do what they want anyways. I think we saw that in the first picks and bans, and the second one was a little slower. I
think we've seen also when teams have long amounts of time to prepare for these best-of-3s, I don't like it when a team has basically the same bans in both games after not adapting.
Crum said they may just do it again.
Yeah, and they did, and it just got the same result. So.
All right, we're going to send it over to Shox, who's standing by with Team Alternates Kevin and Arnea.
Thank you very much, Riv. And of course, congratulations on the win. Fantastic win versus CLG Gaming. I'm going to start off with you, Kevin, because there was some talk going back and forth in the intro bits, and you versus Nian. How did that matchup go for you?
Well, the matchup was good, but I got sadly camped the second game hardly. So I was a bit pissed, to be honest. But in general, it went good. I was still the same CS and even above after the level 1 in the first game. So yeah, trash talk always. I mean, it's the part of League of Legends at the end, and especially in a Battle of Atlantic. So yeah.
All right, tell me a little bit about your picks. 2 times Dr. Mundo. How does the current meta for the top laner suit you?
Well, I think Mundo over everything. And well, it's pretty boring though. But I mean, if you want to win, you have to mostly play the OP champs. So that's what I do. I'm a bit happy to play them, but on the other side, I'm not.
I guess like tier 1 Mundo, tier 2 Mundo, tier 3 the rest.
Oh, Aranea, talk me a little bit through your games, your both games. Of course, you know Dexter very well from last season over in Europe. So how did the games go?
Actually, I'm quite happy because I think we fought for some Drakes, and I got like every Drake and every Smite in the Smite battle. And I'm actually really lucky against him. Like every time we fight in Nashua in Europe, he always stole me every Nashua. So I'm quite happy about the performance. Not only me, also my team. They played everyone really good. Compared with the scrims, like we usually like in the scrims, I don't know, like people doesn't focus at all. And when we play in offline, we always play really good. So I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, maybe following up on that, Kerp did amazing in that after his transition. How do you think he will do in the EULCS, where we have, of course, that there's so many good mid laners in EU?
Yeah, we know. Like I called it 1 month ago when we did the swap between Kerp mid lane and get Kevin top. I already said like Kerp is gonna become one of the best mid laners in Europe and probably one of the world's. And people were laughing at me like, haha, you're gonna get destroyed. Like your mid laner is worse than all mid laners, stuff like this. And I was like, no. Like you will see Kerp, and I think he's already like proving himself. Really happy for it.
Okay, Kevin, maybe another question for you. It seems like you feel extremely comfortable with it, playing together with all these players. We see you teleporting in at Baron, not so successful game 1, but in the rest, it just seems like you have a newfound confidence. How do you feel with those players?
Like, of course, with my mate Aranya, like I played him in season 2, so I was always confident with him. Of course, Kreaton, a Polish guy, we shout a lot of Polish stuff in game, so it's always fun. It motivates us a lot. Jerry is kind of like Nuf, actually. I didn't expect that, but he's actually like Nuf, the same style. And yeah, Kerp, of course, the special one. He's just a great solo player, and just the mechanics are like so strong, and it just feels really good to play with this team.
Yeah, and you guys looked really good. Great win over CLG, but of course, Aranea, last time in the summer split, you guys got off to a fiery start in the summer split, and then kind of lost your game along the way. How are you going to try and prepare to not let it happen again?
I think this time probably is going to be the opposite. Like the start is going to be a bit tough for us. Like we are not training that much as we should, because I'm like still studying and we still like have some problems, family and stuff. So I guess like the start is not going to be as good as last split, but I guess the end we will be really, really strong.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Congratulations once again. Great games. And we've got to take a quick break, but when we return, it's the first game of the North American Spring Promotion Tournament, where Snoopy, Crepo, and the Evil Geniuses make their North American debut against Determined Gaming. Stick around.
I just watched someone. Is that? Nice! Nice! Push up, push up, push up. Get him!
Oh my god.
I will go to Sam again. I will go for it. Can I get going? So toxic.